job tool, helping you earn more by unlocking new, long-term work opportunities in your area, and offering you a simplified and fast-track sign-up and onboarding process. With ParaPass, you get exclusive access to local opportunities. Para drivers are the first to be notified of new partner onboarding opportunities in their area. These gigs range from long-term full-time opportunities to extra work you can use to fill in downtime between your main platform work peak hours. You'll also get one-click simplified sign-up process. Sign up for multiple gigs at once. Once you've created your Para profile, you can use this to easily sign up for partner gigs without entering your information over and over again. ParaPass opportunities come with expedited onboarding. With ParaPass, you skip the line and just complete the onboarding essentials. A fast-tracked onboarding means you can start earning even sooner. Finally, you can manage all of your work in one place. When you complete your Para profile and onboard with ParaPass, you'll have early access to Para's new app integrations, meaning you not only have more work, you can manage it all in one place. To qualify for ParaPass and unlock these exciting opportunities, simply complete your Para profile. Once everything is verified, you're given the master key. We'll be sending you local opportunities so you can sign up right away. It's that easy. So complete your profile today.
Hello, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Last Mile, a weekly show where we talk about last mile gig apps, not last mile in terms of DoorDash or things like that, but last mile meaning courier services, but also like things like ParaWorks, ParaPass, Delivered that does catering, really anything that's smaller or not, it doesn't use acceptance ratings um and tactics and means of making you think that you have to do certain things to be a true independent contractor. By the way, if you haven't seen the piece that I put out, the complete Kim Cavan series, it can be a little scary looking at it because it's 3 hours and 48 minutes. That is our complete package. The first interview in there is the one that I think all of you guys should see. So even if you just watch that first one, that's a very important one to understanding our rights as an independent contractor. And to that, it's important. It is important, you guys. So I also want to say thank you to all the channel members. The channel membership here on YouTube is a new thing. I've had the Patreon group for a long time, but YouTube people don't leave YouTube. They just don't. So I've already got like something like 40 or 45 member only videos up there. As well as I will be coordinating the audio podcast stuff that I do on Patreon for those members, along with this as a members only thing once in a while. At least once a month, there will be a members only live stream. And it's always been a lot of fun with the audio podcast people. So anyway, just wanted to say thank you to Traveler, Savvy Shopper Delivers, Giggin, Cody C, Gig Wars, Cray Cray, and the newest channel member here on YouTube to the Rideshare Rodeo, Janet Wagner. So welcome everybody and thank you. Hi, Even Oscar. Hey, Derek, what's up? How are you guys doing tonight? So got started a little bit late here. Had a couple of super busy days, and we still will be done by the whole deal with me starting this late. I don't know if you guys remember, but I used to do this before Pedro's live. So I'd do it the hour buckling up to that. And even in the middle of the day, we'd get good attendance on that. We've had good attendance on this most weeks. But I don't push it into, or I try not to push it into Money Hungry, where Kim and Zach are. So last week we did go a little bit over. This week we will end on time. I'm trying to remember. You guys. It's one of those perfect storm weeks. I've been working a couple of different gig apps. I've been I and then I did. There's a couple of extra live streams this week that normally don't fall into my radar. Like I do one with Lou and Mary every probably 2 months, every 2 to 3 months. Lou, Mary, Long Island Dash Experience, and I do a thing called the Long Island Rodeo Experience. And we did one last night. And like the rest, they went about 2 hours. It's always a fun time talking with those guys because we keep it honest, we keep it real. And then today I had another thing that is a one-off that I did with Pedro and Hannibal that you guys should check out on Display Ride. You guys really need to have Display Ride. It is, yeah, I used to say have Display Ride or a different dash cam, but I'll just say now have Display Ride. You want it uploaded to the cloud. If they grab it, most of these are SD cards. You just it's everything you want. There's a vest out for delivery people or people riding bikes um or scooters or whatever. All kinds of uses for delivery people. Just a great thing all around. And yeah. So let's see. Curry. What was I going to tell you guys about Curry? So the Curry, we talked last week about the Curry driver score. Remember, guys, I'm going to say this almost every time we talk about this, but do not forget that the the Curry driver score. Do not forget that it's it's still there. If you're in the Curry app and you hit that you want to see the menu, you will see that profile's gone. But if you click your picture, it takes you to that profile page, which still has the metric of driver score. In there still has on time. Now, I haven't had a violation, or I mean, obviously, I don't get violations on Curry. I mean, I treat that app with the utmost respect, um, but people were getting violations for scheduled morning pickups that were for like 9 a.m. from or 7 a.m. from a Sherman Williams, and then the person who took it didn't show up. So they didn't show up to pick it up, and then it goes back out in the queue. And if like at 8:10, 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, I saw one that said hot shot right now from Sherman Williams, a lot of my mind was thinking like, well, wait a minute, that's probably a 7 a.m. that wasn't picked up. I'm going to get a violation for being late. So, I know I was not the only one. I'm mod on the Facebook Curry group. If you guys want to join that group, by the way, just shoot me an email and let me know, steve@ridesharerodeo.com. That is an invite only group. I am a mod on the two largest DoorDash groups now on Facebook. One is DoorDash Pro. They are the two largest DoorDash groups on Facebook. So if you want to join the Pro group, let me know that too. That also has to be an invite only. And I am also a mod on the Para group. So if you do want to get onto any of those groups on Facebook, Curry, DoorDash Pro, which is Pro DoorDash drivers around the country, I think it's currently like 85,000 people in this group, and it's Michelle Sleet's group, if you know Michelle. Um, but I can help you get into there because they've kind of locked all the groups down because like other social media people troll them, and they just kind of got sick of it. So if you want to get onto Curry's, Paras, or the DoorDash Pro, just email me, Steve@Rideshare Rodeo. And yeah, that's let's see, the other Curry thing that I was trying to think of. Um, I did see a Metrobi offer, and I tried to claim it, and when I did, it actually launched the app. I have my banners on. This is the first one I've seen and been able to grab. I've seen in my alerts that like I missed one. I wasn't around my phone at the moment or whatever, and I've seen that I missed one, and when I hit it, it was gone. But I saw one and I hit it, and it took me to there, and I was logged out. Um, so I've logged back in. Hopefully that isn't an app that logs you out much. We'll have to see. But I am happy to see that I saw an offer that was letting me grab it. We just kind of know the flow of things. It was happening. I was just logged out. So by the time I logged in, I went back and hit it again, and it was already taken. So when things are new, that's how it works. But at least I was able to grab at one, and it's not in every market, but we've had the CEO on the podcast. He had some really good ideas. They follow a lot of Matt Lafferty's, who is the CEO of Curry. I've had Matt on 3 or 4 times on the podcast, as well as other members of Curry. But yeah, so bottom line, I have been looking at a lot of roadie orders too, and I don't know if it's just more for my own sense, but roadie sucks. I mean, roadie sucks. And I try not, one thing I can do when we're talking about market to market that I like about roadie, I can zoom out and zoom into anybody's market. So I can look at any market. So when I'm doing market to market with roadie, I think that's why lately I've been excited. I've known I could do this. I just never really thought about doing it. So I picked some times during the day, like on weekdays. Like when I see heavy volume here at 11, okay, so I do 11, I just at least take a screenshot of some of the offers at 11 in different cities and see how they're comparing, and they're all pretty across the board low. There are some that are better. But to be honest, like the only thing that I see in roadie that still has value to me, there are the Have It Your Ways. That's his handle. His name is Brian. If you guys don't know him, Brian's awesome. He does a lot of curry. He lives in Pittsburgh. There are some roadies that he takes. He has a 1995 cargo van, so he can get big loads. Kind of like Gig Geezer, they can both get the bigger loads. But even so, what I see on roadie is junk. I'm surprised because after Target told CVS they were going to have to leave, and after the Ship app dropped CVS, and CVS has to be out of all Targets by the end of the year. That contract went to roadie, and I thought, okay, well, things should get better. And I've seen random places on roadie too. Like we have this place called, I think it's called Darsano's. Darsano's is like you go in there if you have arch problems with your feet, and they can take your shoe, and then they make you a custom piece that goes in there for your arch and whatnot that fits into any shoe. And they're kind of well known. And I don't know if they're starting to take things over the internet or not, but Dardano's is on roadie. And you might not even have that shoe store, that specialty shoe. It's not even a shoe store. They don't really sell them there. You got to bring your shoes in. So it's more of a shoe fitter, I guess, is what it might be. But anyways, they're on roadie. FTD Florals all over roadie. eScripts is on there. Script Deliver. Now the CVSs are on there, and they have the tractor companies on there, along with other things that roadie's always had. And all the offers are horrible. I will say this: people used to say that Best Buys were the worst, and I'm thinking, okay, they can't be a worst, but guess what? There is, and people were right. It is Best Buy. Best Buy never comes in single orders. I've looked on roadie and I've looked in other cities. So I'm doing market to market. So now I can actually talk about market to market because I've looked in them all now on this one. Um, Now watch, roadie will take this ability to look at other markets away unless you're in it, because they hear about this, because I'm actually able to see how crappy your offers are in that market. So to me, it's pretty interesting. But the Best Buy ones are just the worst offers I've ever seen. You usually have, from what I've noticed here in Denver, and it seems kind of the same in other cities, but for Denver for sure, you're usually delivering between 7 and 11 different stops, and it's a route, and it says it's going to take about 4 hours. Now, me knowing Denver and when those drop, they're usually pretty they're skimming hours off, and they're making it sound like this is only going to take you 4 hours. I can look at it and go, that at that time is going to take me 5 or 4.5, and then I still have to get all the way back to my house, and I'm going to be in the mountains when it finishes. So the offers are just unforgivable. It'll be like 4 hours, 8 stops. You got to go 75 miles, and it ends in the mountains for like $50. And I'm like, dude, that's like $5 an hour. after expenses. And if you're doing that, find a different app. If you cannot find a different app, find different work. I hate to say it that way, but look, it's that app's not ever going to change for you. And if you take those orders, that app will remember. I mean, we all know that AI and everything's coming into play, but let's just, I mean, we're all smart enough to know that app will remember you took that. And that app will make sure to dish you up more. It's like something that we talked about with Lou and Mary last night. So I'll just tell you this one thing that we hit on was listen, if right now, there's seasonal work out there and whatnot, I'm not saying people need to do it, but if it allows you to step away from the gig apps and not get stressed by them, because I've seen a lot of people getting stressed. We see this a lot sometimes. However, I've never seen it like this. The inflation is through the roof. We are in a recession. Nobody can deny that either. Um, and there's some things that, like, I don't politically even know what the boundaries are on YouTube anymore. I'm going to look into them because I'm hoping tomorrow night we can discuss some things that have happened that are pretty damn crazy. And it's not to get political. I just don't want to get in trouble for saying it. But if we can talk about it, I'm going to look at the new YouTube rules. We will be talking about some stuff because there's some stuff going on that is really, really out there, and now it's factual. So, I mean, it's yeah. And by the way, we're gonna. I don't know. I don't give kudos to California very often, but I'm actually going to give kudos to California today because California kicked Cruise Autonomous out of the state. They are no longer allowed to operate in California. They're too dangerous. They are untested, and they don't have a barrier that says if they're safe or not. Like I've always said, they need one. They need to have something that's safety across the board for all the autonomous companies. But Cruise got kicked out of California. And there's a federal probe going on where they might have to stop operating in Austin, which is where they've moved their headquarters to, is Texas. So they might have to just stop operating altogether. And Cruise is tied to Ford. And yeah, finally, some people wake up and start listening to what I've been saying. Everybody's always like, oh, you and your robotics or autonomous cars. Obviously they know what they're doing. They're testing. Yeah, they just got the crap slapped out of them. They got kicked out of the state, and they're about to be shut down potentially in Texas too. So guess what, guys? I wasn't wrong. Those autonomous cars are dangerous as can be, and they should not be on the roads. Hey, what's up, Traveler? What's up, Cody? I gave shout outs to all my channel members today at the start of this, by the way. So thank you guys for being channel members. And there's lots of, by the way, guys, if you haven't explored, there's already a lot of members only stuff, especially if you go way back and stuff. You'll see a lot of members only stuff. And there's some more that I'm going to be turning back on that was turned private back in the time and whatnot. So check it out. But yeah, so last week was a booming week of curry here. I was checking Roadie. I did do an Instacart. I did 3 pair of works in 2 days. And just to put it into perspective, I've probably only done 4 or 5 this calendar year before that. And Friday I did 2, and Sunday I did 1. And all of them paid amazing. One of them was $26 for 5 miles. One of them was $28 for 3 miles, and one of them was, the Sunday one was $40 for, and it's up on my page, but was $40 for 5.7 miles. The one that was the early one on Friday was whatever, 24, 26 or whatever for the almost 5 miles. That one did fill my catering bag and was like pretty damn heavy. Like that felt like almost like, not quite, but almost like one of the big, one of the 5-gallon buckets of paint that I get. And we know that that industrial paint can be 50 to 70 pounds depending. But it felt like picking up one of those, and I do those all the time. I mean, I'm like almost to 1,100 curries, so like I've done, and enough of those have been paint. I know what I'm doing, but those things can get pretty heavy. And like this was it was pretty weird because I'm so used to everybody saying, I was expecting this big catering, and then they just came out with this little bag. And so here I was doing a pair of works, and we filled my entire catering bag with breakfast burritos for this training seminar they were doing. So it was pretty, that was good. The other two were, the one was just a few bags of food. And then the Sunday one was 4 pizzas I made $40 on that for just a few miles. But on the way to do that, because it wasn't close to me, I looked and I thought, it was close, but it wasn't that close. But I looked and I thought, okay, I've been trying to do one active like it's getting near the end of the year. This is that time when I turn on the apps, even that I hate or whatever, and I try and take one just to show activity before the end of the year. Especially with the legislation coming, I would tell you guys the same. Even if you hate an app, we don't know what's going to change. We don't know which apps will get changed first, if all of them will be affected or what. So I would say turn on your apps that you never use, but you have in your arsenal. Try and get one in before the end of the year, or before whenever, between now and the end of the year, though, I would try and get one in on everything. So here was me getting my one in on Instacart. And we know, if you guys know about Denver, it is a gig app testing market, which means some apps perform out of bounds. And some apps, when they're booming elsewhere, absolutely fail here. Tony can tell you about this too, the Driven Dad, and other people that are in the Denver market. Like when you guys were crushing it with Spark, we never even had a wave of Spark. Spark was never good here. At best, it was like mediocre if you got in on it, but it wasn't anything. You could do so much better on all the apps, even apps that, like DoorDash or whatever. But we just never had that huge, like, dude, Spark is fire. And I think it's because we have a lot of stuff here that is already Spark oriented. They didn't need as many Spark drivers, so we kind of jump ahead with that stuff a little bit. Also, what was the other app that I was thinking of that never really popped here, but like, I guess I can say Instacart. Instacart never had a share here at all. Like you guys wouldn't believe this. Like even during the pandemic, we were probably the lowest paying Instacart market. Like I've been looking for years at this stuff, and I see what other people see. Like I can tell you this right now, for Instacart, Austin, Texas has sent me, and it's not just one person, it's 3 that have sent me screenshots of their Instacarts. People send them all over the country to me of what they see for Instacart, and some markets are decent. All the markets are better than ours, but Austin, Texas has always been the best. People who send me screenshots they get amazing offers. I don't get it. It's a market to market thing, but here we never had good Instacart. It would be the minimum pay of $8, and you were lucky to see a $5-6 tip for 80 items or 80 units. And to me, it's just a joke. So when I took the pair of works, on Sunday, I was looking through my apps, and I looked, and I was just like, oh, no. But I turned it on and I looked on Instacart, and I saw something that the pay wasn't good at all. It was $15.96. It was showing as like one of the Instacart's boosts, like, oh, look at the boost on this. And I was thinking, okay, whatever. Because I needed to get about 8 miles to pick up this $40 para thing, or 7 miles. And then it was a quick delivery, and the delivery was kind of coming back my way. But I was like, if I can find something up that way. And I turned on Instacart and I saw 4 items from Office Depot, Office Max, one of them. And I've done these before for Shipped and for Instacart. And I got to tell you, I saw the 4 items. It was a clipboard, pens, and 2 power strips. This customer was being kind of a jerk. I know that people aren't the best about responding, but in my book, Instacart can be a decent flow app. It can. But the problem is look, if you're at the shop, if you're shopping and you text them, hey, they're out of the peanut butter you wanted, you can just keep shopping. If they don't text you back, you're good to just check out with the other 79 of the 80 items and just say they didn't have it. You probably won't get a bad rating or dinged for that. I only had 4 items and 2 of them were power strips. And I kind of figured that was one of the bigger pieces of the order. So I was texting him. Luckily, he texted me right back. And I said, they don't have the power strips that you wanted on sale. And he's like, well, and he was asking like outrageous stuff. He was like, we'll tell them that if they don't have it in hand, because I called and they said they did. And oddly, I might have even told them because I asked the people, I said, do you have this at this price? Because it was a special they were running. And they said, they typed in the SKU and they said, yeah, we have 6 of them here in the store. I'm like, okay, great. So we went because I had already been over to Power Strips. They weren't there. They're looking, they're like, they're probably in one of these middle aisles. So they're looking, they can't find them. So I'm texting him back and I feel like he was getting mad at me. And I'm like, I'm just so damn mad at myself at this point for even touching this stupid Instacart order. But I did it. It was going up to where I went. He tipped me $1. That's part of the 15.96, and all of that probably took about from my house to the Office Depot to where he was about 4.5 miles towards where I was going to pick up the para. Probably took me about I don't know 45-50 minutes for $15. I don't work for that. And then when I went and did the para thing, that took all of 20 minutes to make $40 easy. So again, way too dramatic. There should have either been other power strips in there, like you can replace items at the grocery store, or at least, because I felt like if all I did was show up with the clipboard and pens, I could tell that by needing those 2 power strips, he needed them. So when I did text him, he did. He was like, no, I absolutely have to have those. And then he wanted me to say, well, if they don't have them, they have to give you, because the next price up was like single ones at like $12.99, and this was like $9.99 for 2, but the cord was only 2 feet. They had these 6-foot cords that were kind of like the ones he wanted, but they were like $12.99 or whatever, so it was going to be like 25 instead of 10. And he's like, no, they have to match that price. They told me, and I'm thinking, dude, if you're gonna be like this, you come down here and argue with them, because I'm not gonna argue with them about this. I understand how business works, and what you're saying is stupid, is what I'm thinking, right? Like, this is just stupid. You don't have a case here, even to me. If I worked at this store and you called me, said that, or came in and said that, I'd be like, dude, beat it, get out of here, man. It is what it is. But no, we don't have to give you that price if we don't have that item. So I don't know. It was a little bit of a crazy interaction, but it did remind me I hate Instacart. But I've been active now, and it'd been over a year. I saw Kim posting Instacarts or something, so I thought, I better do one. But I've done it. I'm still on it. So if something happens over the new year, but again, I don't even see what Instacart is anymore. To me, that's just a joke. So let's do I said last week we would do this where is it? Oh, I said we would do this, would you take these or not? So let's do some of these. I want to see if you guys would take them. So I'll have to watch the chat over here, I guess. So like, put a thumbs up if you'd take it, put a thumbs down if you wouldn't. I'll only leave each one up for a little bit. I'm just curious. So take in all the information you can. I know you don't all know the city of Denver. So just all you can work off is the miles, the price. You can see how far it is to the place to pick up. But let's just see. Let's see what you guys think. So like this one. Would you take this? So it's going from basically like East Denver to downtown is kind of what this is doing. It's going to be it's what is it? 8 point oh, that's to pick up. It is, oh, do I not have them on this? Oh no, it's going to be 18 miles, $65, and there is one item at 67 pounds. Did you take that? Okay. This one. So Denver to Cheyenne, Wyoming, 104 miles each way. That's 208 miles for $114. Would you do that? And I'm asking in the here and now. Like, even if like 3 weeks ago when you were working other apps, you might not have, but with what the other apps are offering, keep that in mind. I'm saying if this came through, would you take this? Okay. Aurora to, this is not a favorite of mine to do, but Aurora to Colorado Springs. Would you take this? Hmm. Remember, these are highway miles, guys, too. Carnifage. So this is going to be this is paint. Oddly, it's not always laid out like this. This is going to be two 5-gallon buckets of paint. Um, 18 miles going from kind of near where Tony lives, South Denver, across to some new builds, across southern Denver for 18 miles for 29 bucks. Would you do that? Very light items. Okay. I'm showing you good and bad. I'm just showing you random mixed ones, guys. So I'm just seeing what you think. This one, 17 miles. You are going from Commerce City up to a little north of Denver. Pretty easy driving, no matter the time of day on that one. Which this one, if you look, was 11:35 in the morning. Josh is just thumbs down on everything. um, let's see. Okay, $27 for 5 miles. As you guys can see, when it says Littleton at the top, right under the amount, it says 35 minutes, 22 miles. That's how far I am to the pickup, by the way. Now, that's not always the case, or I might be going that way anyway. So, I mean, sometimes the magic is just there. So I'm trying to not get you to focus on pickup ETA, just assume you're somewhat close. Really? This is interesting, you guys. There's a lot of thumbs down, which tells me that you guys are doing better in your market than I thought you were on the apps you're working. I guess that's good to hear. I thought the apps were a little bit down right now. So this one, you've got 250. What is it? You're going to have 275. You're going to have 50. You're going to have 325. So you're going to have, what is it? You're going to have four probably 5-gallon buckets of paint. $43 for 13 miles. You taking that one? Traveler says yes. Josh even says yes. Oh my gosh. Josh. Wow. um okay, everybody's looking like a yes on that one. So $42 for what is this one, for 18 miles or 19 miles. This one takes you from southwestern Denver, back roads and stuff, kind of, but I mean, easy to navigate, not traffic roads, going to new build even south of Denver. So you're going to have to come back on this one. And because it's new builds down there, you're probably not going to get something coming back. Just trying to put a little piece of info out there. No on this one. Okay. See, for me, like this is like where the one isn't, I mean, clearly it's not exact, but that's pretty damn close to where Tony lives. So like for Tony, this wouldn't say 40 minutes ETA, it probably would say 5. So would that, that might change your way of looking at this. I don't know. Yeah, and again, Josh, thank you for pointing out that 2:30 in the afternoon. So this one's 1:05 in the afternoon. I should probably say that as well, because that, guys, I'll tell you that Denver has bad traffic all the time, but our heaviest traffic starts at about 3:30. It does start, like most people have 5 o'clock traffic at 4:30 till 6. We have 3:30 till about 5:30, and then in the mornings, and then it's just kind of busy throughout the day. There's parts you try and avoid and whatnot. Um, so 46, 49, 17 miles. Okay, that's That's is this the same one? This is the same one, sorry, that I pulled up going from where Tony kind of is. Okay, so Denver to Fort Collins, 61 miles. I don't know what time of day this is because I did not capture that. um, but if I remember this, most of these that I'm doing are not scheduled. These are ones that came in mid-morning. But 60, okay, 69. So Rick, Traveler say yes. Derek says no. Derek knows too. Like I know that I've done a lot of to Longmont. You can see there Loveland and Fort Collins, and it's very rare that I get something back. So, if one thing about going to Colorado Springs is usually coming back in it. I don't get anything from Colorado Springs back to Denver, but usually when I come back over the hill from getting back into Denver, then I'm in Littleton, and I'll get a Littleton paint run or something almost immediately. I feel like so there is a bonus to going there. I told you I don't like to go to the Springs, but Fort Collins is even a little weirder because I have not found the app to complement it to come back. So for me, I have a high threshold about this Fort Collins one. Okay, so Aurora, this one's going 38 miles, $60. Who'd take this one? And then between the one and the two, it says Parker. Uh, understand that that's a good place to be. Like when you pick up at one, you drop off at two. When you are going back to Denver, going through Parker is going past the major Sherman-Williams Center, so you're going to have a lot of good luck going past that. Okay, so now everybody's on board for this one, even though it goes south. Okay. Okay, so this one's 17 miles. Arvada to Broomfield. This is you're probably not going to take interstates on this one. You're going to take like Wadsworth or something, but it probably would take you from the pickup to the drop off. Most times of day, it's going to take you about 25, 30 minutes to get to do this one. Okay. Littleton to Highlands Ranch. There might be a couple of these in here, you guys. So if there is, I'll just move past them. But I think there was one I caught a few screenshots of. But 2291. Again, you got to be out there for this one. Because like if you look, I'm 39 minutes away from this. So I would have to drive 22.6 miles to take this. But if I live in Littleton, I might be a few miles from it. So, if I'm a few miles from this, I'm always going to take this. One of my rules is, anything under like 5-6 miles that's over at like 5 miles over $20, I'll usually take it. I never take anything under $20 ever, except for that stupid Instacart order. But on Courier, I never take anything under $20. Wow, Rick. Okay, Rick's a no on that one. So 2 stops. With my glasses, I can't really tell. Is that 8 miles or 6 miles? Whatever. I can't even tell. $35 if it says 6 miles, but it's 2 stops. Would you do that one? Again, this is an easy area to traverse pretty much at any time of day. We can assume from here on, I don't think I captured the time. So let's just assume that they're like 2 p.m. like Josh was, because I like 2 p.m. ones, and 2 p.m. ones come in here a lot. So a lot of these actually would be too. So, okay. All right. So 3 miles, Littleton to Northridge, 44, almost $45. You got 110, you got 33, you got 10. So you got about 160 pounds of paint here. So you're going to have 3 5-gallon buckets on this one. So, okay. So Cody, you're saying that like for me being 22.6 miles away. And again, this is when it's seen from my house, because a lot of times I'm downtown already, and that might make this, and that's why I was pulling from my house, because I wanted to show you guys how far some can be. That's why I do the scheduled ones. And then by the time I'm done, I'm usually around Denver, and I'll pick up one that's really close. So what you're seeing is when I'm home, I captured these screenshots because I'm pretty far from anything unless it's up in the area of the airport, which is like puts me in place for um, Ferguson Plumbing and a lot of other good ones. So, but yeah, again, let's assume you're a little closer than I am because a lot of times, like I saw this from home, but I see these all the time down in Highlands Ranch because they're building. So a lot of times I'm only like 10 minutes away. So $55 for 2 stops for 6 miles. That might be that same one that went up. Maybe that's the one. Oh, here's one. This is a granddaddy one because you know the math I use, or you probably do. I use 1.5 on the round trip miles. Or I mean, I use $1 per mile going there, and I use 50 cents a mile coming back as a shooting point. That doesn't mean that I won't pull the trigger on one that's a little lower, because when they're long ones, it's the write off on that is, remember, that's going to be 514 miles you can write off on your taxes. So that's 514 times 65 cents. So that also becomes another factor, guys. But would you take this? Wow. Wow. So a lot of you would take this. Hmm. It is mountain driving, Cody, but it's I-70. I-70 is easy as mountain driving comes. And you literally, from Denver to Grand Junction, you're on I-70. So Derek says yes too. So the only thing that I did not take this, and the reason I did not take this is because right near where it says Glenwood Springs, you guys, even when there's not, there is the biggest traffic slowdowns because they actually redid the highway up there. And then we've had some rock slides and other things. And even though we're past it now and all this and that, it still gets down to like one lane and it's extremely slow. Sometimes it might even be stopped. And I'm not talking about during winter and whatnot. Even in the summers, it can be just stopped for a minute. So this actually getting to Grand Junction takes a little longer than you might think. You can't just do the miles and say, well, and actually there's parts after Vale County for all the way till about Rifle or just shortly after, you can do 75 miles an hour. That's the speed limit. So it's also a high speed limit, but it does take you a minute to get there. Yeah, exactly, Derek. I was gonna say 4.5, with gas, and that's without like real stuff, just gas and stuff. I'd say more like 4.5. I don't know what it is. I usually drive at a good pace and I can figure this stuff out, but that usually is, and you do go, even though you're on the interstate, it is up and down mountains a little bit, so you do put a little more wear and tear on the car, but I'm willing to do it. So Aurora to Evergreen, 37 miles for $46. Come on, where are those thumbs downs? Or is everybody laughing too hard at this offer? All right, I'll move on. Aurora to Sterling. So Sterling, Colorado is going towards Nebraska. It is nothing except for farmland. And as soon as you're out of the city, it's just open highway. There's nothing in your way. What are you going to do? 254 miles? 254 miles round trip. Cody, no. Traveler, yes. Cody, yes. Wait. Oh, to the last one. Okay. Yes, yes. Derek, no. Not enough. See, oddly, I'll tell you this. I actually missed this one. I would have taken this one. One item for 25 pounds. I would have taken this one. Just because the drive is so easy. I mean, so easy. It's just open road. And there's other things like on a ride like this, I can catch up on phone calls, other things, meet with David from Para. So for me, there's other factors in play. It is the bare bottom that I would ever even look at one of these, because does this meet my criteria? No. If it's 254 miles, it needs to be 127 plus it needs to be what, 63.50. So it would need to be $190.50 to meet my dollar there a mile, 50 cents coming back home a mile. It would have to be 190. So it's about $40 under my, and that's my entry point. But like I said, I make exceptions. So if this was going to Pueblo, which is about the same distance from Denver, not a chance I'd take this. But the fact that it's going out to Sterling, I'd probably take it. It depends on how my week was and everything and how much I had already drove. But so Littleton to Littleton, 4 miles. We might have already done this, but there were a lot of these because these are from that one is a Sherman Williams and the 2 is a new build. Yeah, Cody, that one, it was a 4:30 a.m. Good eye. Wait, was that on there? Where'd you see that? It actually was a 4:30 a.m. though. I don't see it. Oh, I see. Oh, because it's scheduled. Okay, I see. Um. So okay, that we did that one. Then this was another one of those 2 stops where for the same amount of miles the money went down. No, did not take this. 5 miles, $25. You are moving one item weighing 25 pounds. Did you do that? This should be a no-brainer. It was for me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not the pot of gold I look for in curry, guys, but it's also not a crap order. It's not. This is a good order, especially when you're near it, you know. I was 10 minutes from it. So, um 8 miles, $20. That's going to be a hard no for me. That's obviously paint too. Um, it's not even the weight of the paint. I don't care. I just don't like the offer. 2036. That's like my entry level. And if it's above 5 miles, yeah, it's going to need to be more money. So, 27 miles. Again, where these are too matters, you guys, because this is a pretty easy drive. This number 1 isn't far from where I am, and the number 2 isn't far from where Tony is, and we can make that drive pretty quick. You can avoid the city a little bit. So this is 27 miles for $41. Would you do this? 2 stops, no. A lot of times, by the way, though, just so you guys are aware, Derek, when it says 2 stops, and it used to do a better job, it would show where one is, and then it would kind of show the other one, but it would show one as a dot. But usually these 2 stops are like a new build, and it's in the same alley. So it's more like, okay, you're gonna, first of all, you're taking one item weighing 10 pounds. I don't know how you're taking it to 2 stops. I just noticed that. But usually, like, a 2 stop means that at 2, you're gonna have 2 drop offs, usually in the same pre-build. So it's not like the stops are between 1 and 2. They're usually both gonna be at 2. Um, Denver to Fort Collins, $69, one item for 10 pounds, 61 miles. I think we had one like this, but this is a different one. And this is the last one I think I got for you guys. Which there's just been tons of these, by the way. This means this is me kind of keeping track. Highlands Ranch and Southridge and Littleton, that area is a great area to be right now. Whenever whenever I finish something, if I'm down near there, it's definitely, there's so much going on down there with paint delivery and stuff that it's worth it for me to park down in that area. Now, I live in the opposite corner of Denver. I live in the northeast. This is the southwest. And whenever I get a delivery down near that area in the morning, or my second curry leaves me there, I'll sit down there because these happen all day, and I'll take these all day. Yeah, exactly, Derek. So exactly, and I'll take these all day, guys. I mean, these are great offers. Um, But yeah, other than that, oh, I didn't load in the other one, damn it. We have a few para things coming up. We have one, so all the paras will be live tomorrow. It's the last of the Q&A. Then I want to show you guys this on the Thursday after tomorrow. I think it's November 2nd. We have Chris Heffernan, the CEO from Delivered. We will be talking to him. We have the Matt Spoke, the CEO from Moves. We have the CEO from Dumpling. We are going to be having Matt Lafferty, the CEO from Curry, but he will be on a pre-recorded. These are all lives. And then in December, we have the CEO, Ryan Green from Gridwise. So we got some really good roundtables or discussions coming up with CEOs on the Para thing. So check out the Para channel or here. It live streams on both or in the Facebook group and bring your questions. Every week, this is the last Q&A about Parapass. I mean, we'll always answer them. But then we're going to try and end the year with a lot of CEOs of companies that we like. So you'll see Dumpling, you'll see Curry, you'll see Delivered, you'll see Gridwise, you'll see Moves, you'll see, we might even get Bryce from Solo. We're seeing if we have an open date still, because David had a couple too that we're inviting. Not Easy Cater, but the one that we're working with in Chicago now. We're looking at getting one of their people on. So we got lots of good things coming up. And yeah, come in. I mean, like I've been reaching out to these people because David's like, just let's do this for a lineup. And we were talking about it. And then he was shocked that over the weekend I lined like 6 up. So, you know, I haven't interviewed some of these people like Chris Heffernan. I've never interviewed before. Ryan from Gridwise, I've never interviewed before. All the rest that we've booked, I have personally on my podcast, but there's a lot of new questions now. We're in a different, that was like a year plus ago. So there's going to be lots of good things coming. And you guys, thank you. Those of you who are channel members, I see a lot of you in here. And, you know, thank you for being a channel member. And if you're not, I got it set at the cheapest level, and you do get access to some things that, you know, that are members only. And I am going to do some members only stuff too, because I like to do that stuff. And it's a little more intimate. I can take questions a little easier, even have on guests. But I never try and take away the content from the channel. So for the most part, most things you'll see, whether you're a channel member or not. But I like there to be a perk or whatnot. So, but yeah, we got lots of things coming up on the Para one. Again, it streams on this channel too tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's every Thursday. That's the Gig App podcast by Para. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, we do the roundtable. So join us here tomorrow. And we got 2 streams tomorrow. And it's been a busy week. So hit that like on your way out. Thank you for joining us. And go over and check out Money Hungry. Okay, guys, have a good evening. And I will see you back here hopefully tomorrow on one or both of the streams. They're both going to be great. So peace, y'all.